Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a skill that's, well, it's kind of like the hidden operating system for our modern world. It affects everything from our health to our economy, but it's something most of us probably don't think about nearly enough. You know, decades ago, the amazing astronomer Carl Sagan gave us this pretty stark warning. I mean, just think about it for a second. Our phones, our medicine, the food we eat, the entire global economy, it all runs on incredibly complex science. But let's be honest. How many of us really get the principles behind it all? Sagan saw this huge gap as a massive, massive threat.
He even had a name for it, a combustible mixture of ignorance and power. What a phrase, right? It just perfectly captures the wild paradox of our time. We've got all this incredible technological power, literally at our fingertips. But at the same time, there's this widespread ignorance of how any of it actually works. And that combination, as he warned, is just waiting to blow up in our faces.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge, but the answer isn't for all of us to suddenly become rocket scientists or anything like that. The solution is actually something way more accessible to everyone, and it has a name.
And that answer is something called scientific literacy. Now, this has nothing to do with memorizing the periodic table, I promise. It's really about developing a new way of thinking, a new way of engaging with the world around you.
Okay, so scientific literacy sounds a bit academic, right? What does it actually mean? Well, the Science Teachers Association of Ontario has this perfect definition. Basically, it means you can pick up a news article about some new medical breakthrough or a climate report, and you don't just read the words. You can actually evaluate the information. You can think critically about it. It gives you the confidence to ask the right questions and to actually take part in the big conversations that are shaping all of our lives.
All right, I get it. That might still sound a little abstract, so let's break it down. Let's look at 3 key areas of your life where being scientifically literate isn't just a nice-to-have, it's absolutely essential. First up, your career. And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're an artist, an accountant, or a mechanic. The basic skills you build through science education, things like critical thinking, real problem solving, teamwork, those are the skills that employers everywhere are desperate for. At the end of the day, it's about learning how to think, not just memorizing a bunch of facts.
And that kind of thinking, that leads to incredible innovation. I mean, just take a look at this list of world-changing ideas that came from just one country, Canada. The discovery of insulin alone has saved millions upon millions of lives. These aren't just lucky guesses, they're the direct result of scientific thinking, and they have fundamentally changed life on this planet for billions of people. Okay, next up, your personal life. Think about it. Every single day, you're making choices. Is this new health trend you saw online for real? What do these results from your doctor actually mean? Are the claims on that new shampoo bottle legit, or is it just clever marketing? Scientific literacy gives you the tools to cut through the noise and make smart choices for yourself.
And finally, number 3, your role as a citizen. You know, we all have a right to an education, but with that comes a responsibility to use that knowledge for the good of society. So many of the biggest issues we're facing today are tangled up with science and technology.
And these are not small issues we're talking about. Just look at this list. Climate change, pollution, new medical technologies, world hunger, these are complex problems with no easy answers, and they affect every single one of us. If we want to make smart, rational, and ethical decisions together as a society, we need a population that can actually understand what's at stake.
Okay, this is a really important point, so I want to make sure we clear something up. After hearing all this, you might be thinking, but wait, I'm not a scientist. And that's the whole point. You don't have to be.
And this chart really lays it out perfectly. Becoming a professional scientist, that's a specific career path. It takes years of deep, specialized training. But scientific literacy, that's for everyone. It's not about learning all the nitty-gritty details of science. It's about learning about science. You know, how it works as a process and how to evaluate the information it gives us.
So you can really boil it down to 2 sides of the same coin. On one side, yeah, it helps to learn some basic scientific concepts. But on the other side, it's just as important to learn about the process of science itself, to understand that it's the best tool we have for figuring out how the world works, and to know how to use its findings to make good decisions.
So let's be clear. This isn't some exclusive club for future physicists or biologists. This is for the lawyer, for the mechanic, for the artist, for the small business owner. Heck, it's for scientists too. It is a fundamental skill for being a person in the modern world. It's for absolutely everyone. So this all brings us to the big takeaway here.
Because as our world just gets more and more complex, more technologically driven, this skill, well, it's not just important, it's becoming vital for our survival.
You know, it's so easy to think of science as this thing that happens in a lab somewhere and then just gets handed down to us. But this quote, it nails a deeper truth. It's a two-way street. The choices we make as a society, what we decide to fund, what we value, what we're afraid of, all of that directly shapes where science and technology go next. And that right there is the whole point of this. Scientific literacy is the tool that lets you be an active participant in that relationship. It turns you from being a passive spectator, just watching things happen, into someone who actually has a voice in shaping our shared future.
See, without this skill, we're basically just passengers on this crazy ride, with no say in where we're going. But with it, we have a hand on the steering wheel. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. As science and society keep evolving together, faster than ever, what role are you going to play?